Okay, guys, welcome to video number 2 of the overview series. This is 12 new founder questions. It's the top questions that people ask me, and we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to do my best to answer the questions, but I'm not going to go too far into detail because we would be here a long time. So the first question is, how much money will I need to start the business? And the answer is, you should have some money. It's very hard to start a business with nothing. If you got a few $100s, if you got 1,000, optimally, you can do a lot with between $2,000 and $4,000. There are a lot of businesses that you can start with a little bit of capital. If you can get more, that's great. But the sweet spot for a lot of new business founders, small business, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You can do a lot. The next question, how long will it take to start making a profit? Okay, that's a really, really good question. How long before you get rich? It's going to take a little while. The thing that you should not do is you should not quit your day job when you are starting a business, because you won't have income coming in to pay your bills, and you'll start to get desperate, and desperation will kill basically any business. I have never, ever seen a person who quit their job because they decided they were going to make an income off their brand new business. I've never seen that work, ever. And I've talked to and helped and trained hundreds and hundreds of people. Never seen it work. So keep your day job. And the answer to the question of how long will it take to start making a profit, you should give yourself roughly 3 months from launch of your business. Most businesses can be launched in about 6 months. And then you might need 3 months to start making some money, to start seeing some real money come in the door. If you give it 6 months to a year after launch, you should be working pretty well. Things should be going pretty well if you're doing your marketing, okay? Next question, how do I find customers? That's really the $1,000,000 question. You will have to start small. You don't want to start spending money on ads and blowing whatever money you have on ads. That is a great way to waste all your money unless you know a lot about running ads. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find customers locally. You're going to want to find people you know. You're going to want to leverage your friend group, your family group, your work group, anybody that you know, your entire social network, everybody in your contact list, everybody in your phone. You're going to want to let them know what you're doing and ask them to pass it on to others that they might know who could be interested. And you're going to want to go from there. And then you're going to want to go out and you're going to want to use local methodologies, next door, maybe ads in local newspapers, even as dumb as this sounds, posting things in libraries and in on message boards in like community areas and stuff. Seriously, I mean, it depends on your business, but a lot there you can definitely get some heat from that kind of thing. So go to my website, StartABusiness.Center, and look up marketing tips and marketing strategies for new businesses. That's the best way to start. But it's going to be lo-fi. You're going to start with lo-fi, kind of boring methodologies. SEO, by the way, search engine optimization. You're going to want to do that to your website to help Google understand your site. That is not going to bring in a bunch of traffic. It's almost going to bring in no traffic at the beginning, because Google doesn't really care about you, even if you've done good SEO work on your site, unless you've got people linking to you, unless you're known out there on the internet somehow. So you're going to start local, lo-fi, and you're going to grow from there. That's how you're going to find customers, the old-fashioned way. That would be the short answer to this question. What legal steps do I need to take as far as permits, licenses, and business entities, incorporating, things like making an LLC? The answer is you don't need to do any of that stuff until you find market fit for your product. You need to do a lot of planning and research, and you need to do a basic financial projection to see if the business can make the money that you want it to make. And you're going to do the stuff like bank accounts, LLC or S Corp, whatever you decide to do, even sole proprietorship, and permits, licenses. You're going to do all that after you're sure that you want to build this business and you want to spend a year or two of your life or more and a lot of your time and money and energy building this business. So that all comes later. People all want to know about permits and business licenses. Those are pretty simple. Just go to your city hall and just call them and ask them, what do I need to do to get a business license? And they'll step you through it. It's usually a one-page form. It usually doesn't cost very much money at all. So that's the quick and dirty answer. Worry about that stuff later, but it's pretty simple. Also, on my website, StartABusiness.Center, there are a couple of very good pages about the simple steps to start a business as far as permits, licenses, and things like that. Okay, question number 3, I think it is. Do I need a business plan? The answer is you don't have to have a business plan, but I 100% recommend that you do a simple business plan. A lot of business plans that you see online are 30, 40, 50 pages. That's kind of overkill. I don't recommend that you do all that. It's very dry. It's a lot of work. What you should do, though, is a short form business plan, a few pages. There's one on my website. And the point of the business plan is not to set like the course for your rest of your business. You're not setting up a roadmap for the rest of your business. That's what people think a business plan's for. What it's really for, honestly, is it is for the founder to get in touch with the hard and real answers to the questions that the business plan asks. Things like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Who is your competition? What kind of advantages do you have? How much money can you make? What's your marketing plan going to be? Who do you need to help you? How much will it cost? Do you have the money? It's those type of basic questions that you really need to put down on paper and look at them and ask yourself, is this realistic? Am I missing anything? Do I want to move forward? So the business plan is really important, but it's mostly a way for the founder to get in touch with whether or not you should really do the business and whether it has a good chance for success. Okay, question number 6, I think it is. This is, how do I find out if people want what I'm selling? Before I go into business, it would be great if you could figure out if people want what you have. So there are definitely methods to do that. And a huge part of what I teach is that you should spend a ton of your energy up front doing this type of validation. This is called validating your business idea. And the way you do it is you go out and you talk to customers, you show them your product, you tell them about your product. If you can dummy it up, if you could show it to them, if it's a service, maybe you can provide it. Ask some people if they could be test cases and go and do your service for them. Just do it for free, or charge them a few dollars or whatever you want. But it'll really help you to understand whether or not people like what you've got. Sometimes maybe you've got a physical product. You might need to get a 3D artist over on Fiverr to mock that up for you so that you can show it to people on a website or on a piece of paper. But the bottom line is you have conversations, you ask people about their needs, you gauge their interest. When you explain what you've got, are they excited? Do they want to know where they can buy it? Do they want to know more? A common way to validate your business is to set up a landing page. This is a very small website. It's one page or could be 2 or 3 pages, but it's very, very tiny website. And it shows off your product just like it's real. And it looks like you're in business, and you can run some ads, drive traffic to that, and gauge whether or not people spend time looking at your page. Do they read the whole page, or do they bounce immediately? You'll use Google Analytics to tell you what people are doing on your page. And are they willing to click the Learn More button, which takes them to the Add to Cart page, et cetera, et cetera. You want to gauge whether or not people are clicking your Learn More buttons and your Add to Cart buttons, and maybe contacting you about your product. Maybe you could offer like a serious discount once the product is ready, and once it's launched, you're going to give them 50% off or some massive discount. So having a website and showing it to people is another great way to gauge whether or not they're interested in what you have. Everybody loves this one. How much money can I make? Nobody knows. The answer is nobody knows. Some businesses don't have a lot of potential to make money. If you're going to be a gardener or a landscape person, or you're going to, install curtains or something in people's homes, you can make some money. Probably not going to make a ton of money. You're not going to make millions and millions of dollars like the tech guys do or something. But what you should do is you should fill out a basic financial projection. This is a very, very simple spreadsheet. Here it is. And it basically just asks you to make guesses as far as what kind of sales you think you're going to have in the first few months, a few months later, first year, second year. And you just fill in these green boxes with guesses. These are literally just guesses. And I would advise you to be a little conservative. Don't overshoot it, and don't assume you're going to sell hundreds and hundreds of products. Put some small numbers in at the beginning, and then put in what your average price is in this box. this is going to total up what your potential revenue might be. And then in this section down here, you fill in your overhead costs, your cost of goods, cost of running the business, and you subtract the costs from the revenue that you're making up top. And down here at the bottom, you have potential profit that you might be making a few months or a year or 2 years into it. This is the best way to wrap your head around how much money your business potentially could make. This is, again, guesswork. Talk to some experts, talk to some people that have been there and done that if you literally have no idea what you should put in here, and ask ChatGPT, what would be normal for a business like yours? Just describe your business. This is the best way to get an idea about how much money you can make. And by the way, if your business doesn't table out in this spreadsheet and show you that you're going to make the money that you would need to make to be happy, then maybe you shouldn't start this business. If it won't pay your bills and things look dismal even after a year or two, you should retool your concept. What's the easiest way to get a legitimate looking website? Real quick, it's not GoDaddy. Don't do that. A lot of people do GoDaddy. Their tools aren't very good. Go to Wix or go to Squarespace. They have very good drag and drop builder tools and a lot of good looking templates. I would highly recommend that you hire a person, probably off of Fiverr.com or Upwork. Fiverr can be a little cheaper, and find an actual good website designer who's willing to spend, 5, 6, 7 hours helping you to put the finishing touches on your website. Build it as best as you can, choose a good template, and then maybe get a real professional person to help you if it doesn't look super crisp and super professional. Remember, your website has to be super professional, super clear, super crisp. Otherwise, people are going to not trust your business and they're not going to buy from you. You've got to be really good with your website. What are the biggest mistakes that a new business owner makes that cause the business to fail? The number one mistake is that they did not validate the idea. You really need to spend several months, up to 6 months even, doing validation strategies to figure out, do people like what you have? Are they excited about it? Do they want to know when it's going to be available? Do they want to know how much it costs? Do they like your pricing? Do they seem excited because you're solving a problem that they have? So again, there are a lot of ways to validate, but that's the thing that you need to do to figure out whether you should even waste a year or 2 or 3 of your life on this business. That's the number one mistake, is not validating. The number two mistake is that they just don't have any money. It's really impossible almost to start a business, nearly impossible to start a business with no money. So you should have a little money. Try to scare up $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 somehow. Maybe put it on a credit card if you have to. But those are the two biggies, is validation and not really having any money. I'll tell you another thing that will really help you, and that is find a mentor or find multiple mentors. People who have been there and done that will stop you from making all kinds of newbie mistakes. So that's huge. Can I start a business while still working at my current job? The answer is absolutely yes. Most people do it that way. And matter of fact, you should not try to do it the other way. You should not quit your day job. You should keep your day job, and you should treat your business like a side hustle until it starts making enough money that you can quit your day job. That's the smart way to do it. And in my book, that's really the only way to do it, because you will get desperate and you will start making terrible decisions if you don't have that income that's coming in every month to help you pay your bills. So don't quit your day job. Do it as a side hustle, nights and weekends, until you can transition. And the last question is, can I do this alone or do I need a partner? You do not need a partner. Most people do this alone. That's called being a solopreneur. This is the way I operated for years. And having a partner can be really wonderful because it allows you to vibe with people and synergize and commiserate and plan and scheme and plot and talk. And you have somebody who understands what you're trying to do. And it can be really, really helpful. And in a perfect world, your partner has symbiotic skills. If you're really good at design, maybe they're really good at marketing, or you might be good at programming, they're good at marketing or something like that. So partners can be great, but also a partnership can be tenuous. There are a lot of businesses that blow up because the partners have arguments. That's very common. I've got a lot of info on the website about that. But don't walk into a partnership without knowing that it could blow up and it could blow up your business. You need to have a really good operating agreement that spells out what you'll do if somebody isn't doing the thing that they promised to do at the beginning. So solo is good, partners are good, but you just need to understand the sort of pros and cons of each. Okay, I think that wraps it up for the most popular new questions that founders have. I hope that's helpful. As always, hit me up on the website if you have any questions.